Welcome to a Yoga Moment with Musalon. My name is Laura Erdman-Luntz. In this moment, I'm going to take an opportunity to answer a question from a reader. And this question comes from Greg in Shakopee. He writes, should pranayama be part of a vibrant personal practice? What is the potential for using strictly pranayama as an alternative to asana or as an adaptive practice? That's a great question, and having a very well-rounded home practice is one of the things I encourage both my students and teacher trainers to have. So thank you for asking that question, Greg. It's an excellent one. Well, in order to talk about this, we really need to step back and look at the koshas, or the sheaths of the body. According to yogic philosophy, we have 5 sheaths to our body, or like parts to ourselves. The first one is the annamaya, and that's your physical body. And actually, annamaya translates as food body, so you can imagine food is what nourishes this part of yourself. Then we have the pranamaya, which is our energy body. It translates as breath body, so it's getting into more subtle areas. We have our manomaya, which is our mental body, and this is lower mental. It's more of where we do our conscious thinking, shall we say, our everyday thinking is in the manomaya. Because then we also have the vijnanamaya, and that's more the intuitive, the higher wisdom part of our mind. And then finally we have anandamaya, which is our soul body, the divine aspect of ourselves. Now, one of the beauties, I believe, of yoga is it's so much more than just exercise, as I think you're all very aware of. It is a life path, and a philosophy of life, shall we say. And its purpose is to help you learn how to give and receive more love, to open ourselves up. And we can't do that with all of the, let's say, clutter in our body. So in any of those koshas or bodies, all the clutter that we have going on there. So in the physical body, we have physical tension. It's a little bit more obvious. In the mental body, clutter might look like old beliefs, old patterns, things that keep us stuck in our current state of consciousness. And when we do a very complete, well-rounded yoga practice, it helps us clear out the clutter, so to speak, in all of our bodies. So what does a complete practice look like? Well, there are 4 parts to a complete home yoga practice. And I like to compare that to a chair, 4 legs of a chair. So there isn't one leg that's more important than the other. And that can be kind of challenging because, especially in our culture, we tend to see the asana as the most important part of a physical practice, or of a yoga practice. But it really is just one part out of 4. So the 4 parts are, of course, the asanas, and then we have meditation, and pranayama, or breathing, which is what Greg was referring to, a breathing practice, and finally study of the yogic precepts, so the Yoga Sutras, the yamas and niyamas, which come from the Yoga Sutras, etc. All of these are important aspects because they work on different koshas. So the physical body is worked on, the annamaya kosha, by the asanas, of course. The pranamaya body is worked on through pranayama, or a breathing practice. The manomaya is worked on through meditation, and the vijnanamaya, I always like to think of philosophy study as working on the higher mind, because it's really opening your mind to new ideas and new thoughts. And when we work on all 4 of those, that's what helps us reach our anandamaya, or that bliss body, the divine aspect of ourselves. Now, let me also add that all of everything we do also affects everything else. Right? We know our body and our mind are connected. We know our emotions are connected to our body. We certainly know our energy field affects every aspect of ourselves. So one of the things I like about this 4 legs of a chair idea, yes, it would be great if we did all 4 all of the time, but life is, as we know it, is a little challenging. We're certainly, most of us anyway, aren't yogis in a cave being able to study yoga 24 hours a day. And it can be challenging to fit everything into every day, or at least on a regular basis. So when we do our asana practice, it does also affect the energy body, and it certainly affects the mental body. We all know we feel clearer when we're done. When we're doing pranayama or a breathing practice, it certainly affects our physical body as well as our mental body. So there's definitely crossover. And the beauty of that, again, if you're sitting in a chair and you've got 4 legs underneath you, if one goes away, while you might be a little wobbly, you won't be as stable, you will still be upright. And quite frankly, even if 2 go away, you're still going to be upright. You're going to be using a lot of core strength, but you're still going to be upright. So what I also appreciate about yoga is it gives us this option. So when things happen and perhaps your physical body isn't in a state of being able to do asana practice, I certainly have heard of many yogis who have hospital stays where they are completely bedbound and they do a very active pranayama practice in order to keep up their energy body. And meditation can certainly affect everything as well. And it's definitely an option. At the same time, just continue striving to get back to that complete practice and having all 4 parts to your complete practice. Well, Greg, I hope that answered your question for you. Thank you for asking it. It gave me an opportunity to talk about something that I'm very passionate about. Thank you for joining me, everyone. Have a simply lovely day. Namaste.